pottery friends. I'm back again today to show you another 10-minute sculpture lesson, and this is how we can make a fairy just like this one. In just 10 minutes, using common things you may already have around your house, like a rolling pin, a cookie cutter that's shaped like a butterfly, and a piece of old crochet lace from a Goodwill store. And I'm using stoneware clay, but you don't have to use stoneware clay. You can use Play-Doh, you can use Sculpey. You could even use marzipan, and then after you're finished, you can eat your sculpture. So first, you're going to need to know how to make your basic shapes. A snake, which you can make by rolling your clay. There's your snake. A ball, by rolling your clay like this. There's our ball. And our pancake, which can start off as a ball. That part's fun. And that's where our rolling pin comes in. We don't want to go too thin. And we use our lace to make a cool texture. So I'm going to make the wings first, and then we're going to set them to the side, and then we're going to make the rest of the fairy. Sometimes if it sticks in the cookie cutter, just take your finger and pop it out. There's the wings to our fairy. And I'm going to set those to the side. And I'm going to do the legs. The legs are going to start off as a snake. And it takes a little bit of practice to be able to roll a nice snake. You might find that it starts to get a little bit oval. That's okay, we'll just squeeze it back round. And also, if it's not perfect, nobody's going to notice except for you. Now, when I'm making the legs for the fairy, I taper them off, which means they get a little skinnier towards the end. About like that. Then right in the middle, I make a 90-degree right angle. And then I need to realize where the knees are going to be. So I make 2 more angles. Just like that. And then bend them so that one is right on top of the other. And those are going to be our legs. We're going to put that to the side. And then I'm going to do the body of the fairy. That is going to look sort of like a short snake. And instead of getting thin on the ends, this one, I'm going to use my finger and roll it thinner in the middle. Just about the same thickness as one of the legs. See how it's slightly thinner in the center? That's going to give her a waist. Then I'm going to take my thumb and pinch off the top, pinch off the bottom. So we've got a segment that looks a little bit like a Tootsie Roll. I'm going to take that, I'm going to flatten it on the table a little bit to give me a nice flat spot on the bottom where it's going to sit on the legs. Then I use my patented lick it and stick it technique. And put the body right over the hips where it joins the legs. I'm going to take that and smooth it in. Using the best sculpture tools ever, my own hands. And I'm going to leave the front unsmooth because now it looks like she has a little dress on, just like Tinkerbell. Now we need arms. So instead of doing a thick snake like the legs, I use about half as much clay, and I roll a snake. And just like the legs, I'm going to taper the snake to either end, because if you look at your own arm, it's thinner at the wrist, and it widens as it goes up to the shoulder. So we want it thicker in the middle, because those are going to be the shoulders. And we want it thinner towards the end. That's about right. And we have a nice flat spot right here where I pinched it off earlier. We're going to moisten that. And we're going to take the arms, put it right on the top. Press them down a little so they stick. And then I'm going to bend the elbows. Now you'll notice with your own body that if you bend your elbows are right in the same line as your belly button. So on your little fairy, find out where the waist is and bend the elbows right about there. You may find that just like mine, the arms are a little too long. That's okay. We just pinch off however much we have that's too long. And then I take the arms and I rest them right on top of her legs, just like she's meditating. And remember, you want to have a nice angle in the knees and in the elbows, because when we bend, there is an angle there, not a curve. Well, you can probably guess which part's coming next. She needs a head. So we make a ball. And I'm going to make mine a little bit more egg-shaped, because most heads, unless you're watching the Lego movie, most heads are more of an oval shape. So I'm going to make an oval shape. And that oval sits right on the top. There we go. So far we've got a person, and all we've got to do is turn her into a fairy. That's easy enough, because we've already got some wings. I'm going to moisten that with my lick it and stick it technique. And I'm going to stick those wings right on her back. There we go. We have a fairy. Now you can add a face, you can add hair, you can add any kind of decorations that you desire. But right here is your 10-minute fairy sculpture, and I will see you next time.